yin practice. We'll do a little bit of both. So first off, we're going to start off in child's pose. At some point, we might come to the wall and do a little bit of handstand kick-ups. So if you want to try that, you can have wall space nearby. It's not required. It might be a nice to have. You can also do kick-ups in the middle of the room. Just be mindful of what's around you when we get there. Let's settle back into child's pose. So take your knees wide, big toes touching. Extend your arms forward as long as that feels okay on the shoulders. Nice deep breath in. Long breath out. Let your hips settle back a little bit more fully. And you might even kind of like roll your forehead side to side here a little bit. Wobble your hips side to side a little bit. I'm just going to make sure my audio is correct. Yes, it is. Good. All right. Let's take about 3 deep breaths here. And see if you can start to get your breath moving in and out through your nose. One more big breath in. Long breath out. Let's come forward into a tabletop shape. We'll do a little bit of bird dog. So extend that right leg back behind you, flex the toes, float the toes off the mat, but try to keep your hips squared. Try to keep your low back nice and long. So that might mean you bring your foot down just a little bit and then extend your left arm straight forward. Deep breath in. Nice long breath out. So core is stable here. Navel's hugging up into the back body. Low back is nice and long. Set that left hand down, right knee down. Let's switch sides. Left leg, extend it back. Flex those toes straight down to the mat. Tuck your tailbone a little bit. Extend your right arm straight forward. Oh, I'm running into wall space. So back of the neck nice and long. You can look down at like that left thumb tip or right above the left thumb tip. Try to keep those hips stable and squared. Engaging that left glute. Deep breath in. Exhale, right hand, left knee back to the mat. Let's just go side to side a few times. Inhale, right leg, left arm, big breath in. Exhale to tabletop. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale to tabletop. One more time each side. And just get a sense of your core engaging, the back of the legs engaging, including those big glute muscles, hamstring muscles, as you go side to side. One more time. Right arm, left leg. Exhale back to center. Tabletop. A few rounds of cat and cow here. Inhale, lift the heart, spread the collarbones, lift the tailbone. Exhale, press the floor away, tuck the chin under, tuck the tailbone under. Just getting a sense of the spine. Keep going with your cat and cow. Try to add that breath to movement. And it doesn't have to be how I cue the breath. You can always experiment with, maybe it's an inhale as you round the spine. Maybe it's an exhale as you find your back bend. Do what comes most naturally to you if you can. And sometimes it takes a little bit of practice and experimenting. 2 more rounds of cat and cow. And let's walk those hands forward a little bit. Engage those fingertips, the knuckle mound. Spread those fingers wide. Tuck your toes under rather. Press into your hands into your knees and lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And go ahead and pedal out the knees. Kind of shift the weight right to left. In your hands, you can play with shifting the weight right to left. In your feet, you can play with that shift. And as the back body starts to warm up a little bit, you could even maybe play with straight legs as you move side to side in your down dog. Relax your head. Back of the neck nice and long, head heavy. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One last big breath in. Exhale all the air out. Let's get the big toes to touch at the back of the mat. Inhale, extend your right leg up and back. Give it a little stretch, a little reach. Exhale, step your right foot forward, left knee to the mat. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And just briefly here, sweep your arms forward and up. And then press down through that right foot. And then exhale, settle back into your hips. So hips are moving forward and down. And if it's okay on that left knee, press down into the top of the left foot. So you can tuck the toes under, but maybe try pressing down into the top of the left foot rather than tucking. Give a little pressure to that left foot at the back of your mat. One more breath here, and then we're going to come into a half split. And then exhale, hips shift back. So you're stacking the hips on top of that left knee. Lengthen out through that right leg. Flex the right toes towards your face. Hands are framing out that foot. So fingertips on the mat. Stabilize yourself here in your half split. Deep breath in, nice and long through your spine. Exhale, forward fold over your right leg. And let's take one more breath here. We're going to play with these different variations of splits, different ways to prepare the body for splits. Doesn't mean you have to get into the full split today. It just means that really what it means is that we get to lengthen and strengthen the muscles of the thighs, your quadricep muscle, your hamstring muscles, your glutes included, which is always a good thing. Okay, let's rebend into that right knee. Step your way back, downward facing dog. Pause there, settle, root down. And I really want you to think about rooting down to create this buoyancy through the rest of the body. So you're pressing down, yes, but you're active through your arms. You're active through your feet. It's like you're pressing the floor away. One more breath here. And then bring your big toes to touch at the back of your mat. Inhale, left leg, sweep it up and back. Exhale, left foot, step it forward, right knee to the mat. And then maybe again, try untucking the back toes so the top of your right foot is flat. Give a little pressure there. Sweep your arms forward and up. Big breath in here. And then moving those hips forward and down. Get a little bit heavier in the hips. Stay rooted through your left foot. It's okay if your left knee goes beyond the ankle a little bit. That's actually good for ankle flexion. One more breath here. And then let's come into our half split. So hands are going to come down. Fingertips frame out that left leg. Left leg, it can kind of slide forward as much space as you need. You're just looking for a stretch along the back of that left leg. Flex those toes towards the face and maybe kind of wobble side to side. You can even wave that left foot side to side. That'll create a little different experience, most likely, along the back of your left leg as you do this. Deep breath in long through your spine. Exhale, fold a little bit more deeply over your left leg. One full breath here. Good. And then let's start to walk the hands forward, rebend into that left knee. Plant your hands, step back to your downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Relax your head. Let's take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, shift forward, find your high plank. So really think about lengthening out through your spine, engage all those muscles. So I want you to think about stacking your heel bones on top of your tippy toes. And I want you to think about stacking your shoulders just a little bit forward of your wrists. Root down through that whole palm. Feel your inner thighs squeeze together and engage. Core muscles active and engaged. Back of the neck nice and long. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Let's flow in and out of our high plank to down dog 2 more times. Inhale, breath, come forward. Pause and settle in your high plank. Activate all those muscles. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And then inhale forward again, high plank here. This time, pause. Maybe set your knees to the mat. Keep your elbows close. Come all the way down onto the belly. Let your forehead rest for a moment. We're going to come up into kind of like a Superman W shape. So arms stretch forward. And then kind of like you're doing a lat pull down, I want you to think about maybe even making fist, pulling the elbows in towards the rib cage. So see if you can feel that muscles around and underneath the armpits and rib cage squeezing in towards each other. Float your feet up off the mat, squeeze the backs of the legs, chest nice and open. You're gazing down at the mat. Just hold here for 3, 2, last one. Come all the way down to the mat. Tuck your chin, rest your forehead. Hands, palms flat underneath your shoulders, toes tucked. Leg muscles active and engaged. Deep breath in. Try for that reverse push-up. You can use the knees or not. We'll meet in our high plank. And then downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. We're going to start to add on to our flow. Big breath in. Nice long breath out. Lift your heel bones high. Bend your knees a lot or a little. Tippy toe your way towards the top of your mat. Let your upper body ragdoll over your legs. You can grab for opposite elbows and sway your body side to side. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, lengthen the heart forward, engage those core muscles. Let's exhale, fold back in. Again, inhale, fingertips to shins, lengthen the heart forward. This time, let's add the arms, stretch them straight forward and pull yourself all the way up to standing arms, reach overhead. And exhale, fold all the way back in. So we're going to start to move through our vinyasa flow, adding on. We'll step back to our high plank first. Pause in that high plank. Think about zipping up your thighs. Think about engaging your core muscle. Press the floor away with your hands. You're shifting your heel bones forward over your tippy toes. From there, press back, downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. All right, inhale, right leg, sweep it up and back. Exhale, right foot forward. Right foot forward, rise up to high crescent lunge. And just find your balance here. High crescent lunge. Big breath in. Big breath out, little bit, bend that left knee. And then let's spin that left heel bone flat. We're going to come into warrior one. So left heel bone, spin it flat, but you're still trying to point your chest straight forward. From here, let's take those arms back behind us. Option to interlace the fingers to the webbing if you can. You can also take your hands to the low waist and squeeze your elbows back. Try not to pull the belly forward. So we're trying to keep that rib cage kind of closed. So if you think about your lower rib cage lifting or pointing down towards your frontal hip points, so keeping that spine nice and neutral. Now from here, whatever you're doing with your arms, binding or not, let's fold forward in towards that right inner thigh. Humble warrior. Try to relax through your head. And if you've got that bind, maybe the knuckles reach up towards the ceiling. Big breath in here. Big breath out. From here, whatever you're doing with your hands, release it. Fingertips are going to frame out that right foot. You're going to step your left foot forward just like an inch or so. Left foot is still grounded completely. Let's straighten out through that right leg. Fingertips to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your right leg. So ideally, you're feeling a stretch along the back of your right leg. Maybe it's the calf muscle, maybe it's the thigh muscle. You're also compressing the front side of the body. And if you tuck your chin in and maybe rest the forehead on top of the knee or the shin, you're getting a little bit of compression to the thyroid, which is great for your metabolism. Take one more breath here. Now we're going to crawl our fingertips forward of that right foot. Center your right foot in the middle of your mat. And then point those left toes off the mat. Stretch the left toes up towards the ceiling. Here you are in somewhere in between like a warrior three and a standing split. So it doesn't really matter how high that left leg gets. But see if you can feel a stretch along the back of that right leg. Still here, we're working the stretch along the back of the right leg. Big breath in. Big breath out. Right leg's probably starting to get fatigued, and that's okay because that's how we build muscle. From here, your right leg is still your base. Pull your left knee forward towards your right knee, and then see if you can stand all the way up. Lift that left knee up. Standing up on that right leg, lift the left knee up and point it straight forward. Now from here, a couple of options. Hands can come to the hips. We're just going to try to press that left foot straight forward so it's parallel with the floor. You could also reach down, scoop up the ball mound of the left foot, and then press the left leg forward from there. So either way, maybe hands are staying at the hips, and maybe you're just practicing that quadricep strength by lengthening out that left leg. Or maybe you're making a little stirrup with your hands. A strap here also works pretty well. So if you have one of those nearby, feel free to try it. Whatever you're doing, give yourself one more breath. If you feel wobbly and you're falling out, that is exactly how your body builds muscle memory to learn what muscles need to fire in order to help you stabilize. So it's a good thing because your body's learning. All right, let's come into chair pose. So release that left foot, bend both knees, stretch those arms back behind you, chair pose. Big breath in, big breath out. Your right leg is still your base. Step your left foot back to your crescent lunge. Big breath in, sweep those arms up. And then exhale, we're going to take a quarter turn to our left. Feet are wide, feet are parallel. Hands to the hips. Fold forward over your legs. Hands underneath your shoulders. Wide-legged forward fold. Big breath in here. Nice long breath out. Skandasana or side lunge to the back of your mat. Start to bend deeply into your left knee. And then you can come onto the right heel bone, maybe flex the right toes towards the face. Your hands can stay here underneath your shoulders, or you can take your hands together at the heart. In Skandasana, your heel bone can be on the ground, but that's really more like a lateral lunge. So if you want to try it, you can lift your left heel bone off the ground, so you're balancing on your left toes, and see how that feels along the inner right thigh. Whatever you're doing, breathe. One more breath. Now we're going to crawl all the way back to the top of the mat. So our right foot is going to be forward. We'll frame out the right foot. We'll step to our high plank. We'll shift forward onto those tippy toes. Keep the elbows close. Lower all the way through chaturanga or to the belly. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. You're going to make your way back to either child's pose if you need a break, or lift the hips high, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 3 breaths here. Everything we just did on the first side, we'll do it on the second side. Take one more breath here. Okay, so if you're in child's pose, meet me in your downward facing dog, or you can come to tabletop. We're simply just going to stretch that left leg up and back. Give it a little lengthening. And then step the left foot forward. Top of the mat. Rise up to that high crescent lunge. Little baby bend in that right knee. Arms reaching high. Big breath in here, settle. Pause. Find your balance, find your breath. And then spin that right foot flat. It's about a 45-degree angle to the back of the mat so that you're still in warrior one. Your chest is pointing forward. Your hips are kind of at a 45-degree angle too. Okay, so warrior one. Sweep those arms back behind you. Maybe you're taking the interlace. You could try opposite thumb on top this time. Might feel kind of like you're holding somebody else's hand. Or you can keep the hands at the waist, squeezing the elbows towards each other. Either way, keep that left knee bent. Let's forward fold over that inner left thigh. You can relax your head here if you'd like. Pause here, breathe. Make sure you're staying connected to your right foot. Your back leg is active. It's not just hanging out behind you. Big breath in. Big breath out. We've got that bind. We're going to release it. Fingertips are going to frame out your left foot. Straighten out your left leg. Step your right foot forward about a foot. Or maybe just a few inches. Any way. We're looking for that length along the back of that left leg. Try to keep your hips square. For balance, you can frame out your left foot. Deep breath in here. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Might feel a little different on this side. We've definitely fatigued the legs a little bit, but also we have a lot of asymmetry between the right and left side of our bodies. So it's pretty normal to feel things differently from one side to the other. Try not to judge yourself for being right or wrong. Try to breathe here. All right. Let's start to crawl those hands forward. Shift all that body weight into your left foot. And you might even take a moment to center it in the middle of your mat. So base is left foot. Right toes point back. Float up towards the ceiling any amount. Practice your standing split. Whew. My left leg is cramping. If yours is too, give yourself a little break. Pause and breathe. Our left leg is going to remain our base as we pull our right knee forward towards the left knee. Stand all the way up, lift that right knee. Left leg is still base. And then we're going to practice any way we want to, kicking our right foot forward, lengthening out through the back of the right leg. And that might look like hands at the waist, practicing engaging those quadricep muscles so valuable, or maybe scooping up the foot, practicing pressing through the heel bone to straighten out. You know, heck, just standing here on one foot and balancing, that's a lot too. So think about your standing leg. I want you to think about pressing that left hamstring to the space behind you. So it's active and engaged. You're not like just dumping into your joints here. You're actively pressing down through your left foot and pressing the hamstring behind you. Wherever you are, try to take one more breath. And then we'll take a very soft landing into our chair pose. So right foot comes all the way down. Bend those knees, sink those hips. Arms stretch back, nice and broad across your chest. Inhale here. Exhale here. Our left foot is still our base. We're going to step that right foot back. We're going to find that crescent lunge. Inhale here, arms sweep up. Exhale, spin that right foot flat and then turn a quarter turn to your right. Quarter turn to your right. Bring those feet to parallel. Hinge forward over the hips. So feet are nice and wide, feet are parallel, hands are underneath the shoulders for balance. And then we'll take that side lunge to the back of the mat. So deep bend in your right knee. Deep bend of your knee. You should be heading towards the back of your mat with that right knee. And then you can play with something in between Skandasana. Maybe that right heel bone lifts up. And just a side lunge, which is so, so valuable. We don't move laterally a lot in our lives. We're often propelling ourselves forward by walking or running or cycling. So this lateral side movement, so, so good for the body and the brain. Whatever you're doing, one more breath. Now we're going to start to take that quarter turn back to the top of the mat. So you're going to crawl your way all the way forward towards that left foot, frame it out. Step into your high plank. Option to shift forward, move through that chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You can always take your knees to the mat and just simply take cat and cow and rest in child's pose when you need it. Let's take about 3 breaths in our downward facing dog or our child's pose. All right, so meet me in your downward facing dog. Here's where we're going to either practice our handstand hops or our standing splits, or we're going to come to the wall and actually kick up. So 3 different options. And if you're going to come to the wall and try and kick up, please take a moment to adjust your mat so you have wall space behind you. Remember, it's just an option. We'll start with that right leg. So if you're coming to kick ups at the wall, you're in downward facing dog. Right foot lifts up. Step that right foot about halfway forward. So you're not coming into a really deep lunge. It's just like a half step forward with that right foot. Body weight shifts forward into the hands and the right foot. And the right heel bone peels up. It's kind of like a little pogo stick as your left leg points towards the ceiling. And then you practice shifting the body weight forward into the hands. And then right leg just kind of follows along for the line. There's not a lot of like effort in that right leg. It's your kicking leg, which is your left leg, that does most of the work. So that's one option. Feel free to try it. You can also practice your standing split here. Great for building that body awareness and strength. Again, your right leg is base. Body is folding over the right thigh. Left toes pointing vigorously, strongly towards the ceiling. It doesn't matter how high that left leg gets. Okay, it might look more like airplane pose, right? It's okay. And then you can also just practice kick-ups in the middle of your room, but be gentle. Maybe they're just little baby kick-ups, little hops, maybe 2 or 3 times. When you're done with that side, take a break. Your wrists need a little break. Take a child's pose. If you're happy on your wrist, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Wherever you are, notice your breath. Let your head be heavy. Relax the back of your neck. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to try that second side. Remember, you have those 3 options. All of them are equally valuable. All of them are going to provide you with strength, length, body awareness, lessons learned. So don't feel bad if you're not getting all the way up at the wall. That takes time and practice. And quite frankly, it's really not realistic for you to never do this and then try it today and like get upside down unless you have some sort of real nice body awareness. So maybe save this video and practice it over time. Okay, so remember, we're stepping our left foot forward. Our left foot is base, or it's like a pogo stick. The hands become the feet. All that body weight shifts forward. If you're hopping, come up onto the ball mound of your left foot. You're swinging your right foot up towards the ceiling. And then maybe the left leg follows. Maybe you come to the wall. Maybe you don't. And that's okay. Whatever you're doing, maybe you're still hanging out in your standing split, thinking about engaging all those standing leg muscles, vigorously pointing those right toes, feeling that strength and length along that left leg. If you want to try a couple of kick-ups, if you haven't done so yet, you could. It's okay if you don't come anywhere near the wall today. You're just building body awareness. Whatever you're doing, slowly make your way out. Let's give those wrists a little break. Let's take some child's pose. I'm just going to rotate back to being in the center of the frame. Let's come into child's pose. So we have just a few more minutes left. I'm going to give us a nice long hold in a yin pose. One of those will be exploring a full split. And then our other option will be a nice juicy twist. So from our child's pose, first we're going to come into our half split. If you have blocks at home or like equally fluffy / sturdy pillows, something like that might be nice. If you're kind of like, I think I could try a full split today, prop yourself. All right. So right foot forward first. Find that half split so you're lengthening out through your right leg. Hands are framing out that right leg. And then what I like to do is I tuck my back toes. I kind of inch my left foot back. I wiggle my right foot forward. And I like to let my right foot move out at an angle. Okay, so from here, maybe I slide something under. If I'm getting kind of close, I will slide something underneath my right hamstring towards the glute. And then I can kind of sit down in this. I keep my back toes tucked so that I'm trying to stay squared through my hips, trying to stay squared through my knees. And then I see if I can sit up nice and tall here. My fingertips can stay on the ground, but if I'm feeling pretty good and safe here, hands can come to the hips. I can stretch my arms up and overhead. If you really want to be decadent in this, hands can crawl forward. You can rest your forehead on your shin. And then that becomes a little bit more yin-like. Okay, so just 1 minute here. We're not going to have a long hold in this shape. We have about 4 more breaths. Now, while I'm sitting here, I just want to remind you that this is your body, this is your practice. If this is something that feels like, okay, my hamstring insert is going to rip off, then don't stay here, okay? Please don't hold yourself in a position that feels dangerous to you. You have to learn how to discern what is too much and what is enough in your yoga practice. Let's come up and out of this side. There's really no graceful way to get out of this, but what I like to do is bend both my knees, come back to a tabletop shape, maybe lengthen out into a downward facing dog. Give yourself a big old breath in and a big old breath out. And then we'll step that left foot forward. We'll set up first our half split. And I want to remind you that your half split is a great place to work because you're getting all this length along that back thigh. And whatever is going on in your body, wherever your tissues are tightest, that's where you're going to feel it first. So maybe it's your Achilles tendon, your heel bone, your calf, the back of the knee. Okay, so work with that first before you step it further. If you're ready to go further, maybe you're sliding that left foot forward, maybe you're tucking the back toes, inching the back foot back. And then maybe eventually you do get close to resting that left hamstring and glute onto a prop. Maybe you're super Gumby flexing, you're all the way down on the floor. I've been doing yoga for, I can't even remember how long, okay? I mean, in earnest in my adult life, I really started practicing in 2001, but I've had yoga in my life since I was a little one. My parents did yoga. So it's a lifelong practice and our bodies change over time. So be kind. Be kind with yourself. Wherever you are, make sure you're breathing. Feel free to play with hand position or forward folding over that left leg. Let's take a few more breaths here. Part of the practice of yoga, part of the beautiful practice of yoga is that you have a choice, but you have to be mindful that you're making a choice. Bring your decisions into your consciousness and mindfully choose what you're doing, when to stop, how far to go. Let's bend both those knees. We'll come out of this shape and we'll turn around and we'll lay down on our backs. If you'd like to, you could pad the back of your head. That can be quite nice in a twist. I always appreciate it, especially if we have tight shoulders. The spine isn't as mobile. Let's first hug the knees into the chest. Give it a little rock side to side. So we'll hold this shape a little bit longer. We're going to come into a twist. If you have a favorite twist, by all means, take it. If you would like to come along with me, I'm going to hug that right knee into the chest, extend the left leg out long. I'm going to use my left hand to pull my knee across the body, roll all the way onto the left hip. I have all these pillows next to my left hip. I'm going to hook my right leg around. Right arm stretches off to the right side. Big breath in. Big breath out. Pause here, settle in, deepen your breath. We've got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes in this shape. Maybe close your eyes. See if you can start to slow the breath down. About one more minute on this side. If there's anything you need to do to deepen or change, make yourself more comfortable. When we're working with the hips, there's such deep, robust tissues and muscles and connective tissue. It takes quite a bit of work for them to feel mobile if you're not doing some sort of regular mobility practice. If you're always moving your body in the same plane of movement, like you're always moving your body forward, right? Like I talked a little bit about lateral movement. Maybe just take a moment to reflect and think about, what are my habits and behaviors? How am I moving my body on a daily basis that might contribute to limited range of motion or stiffness or soreness when I do some of these things? Or start to unwind out of that shape, come all the way onto your back. Whew. Sometimes releasing out of longer holds can be quite significant in that sensation and feedback in the body can be pretty intense. So just take a moment to stretch out. Big breath in, big breath out. Try not to be in a hurry to get to your second side. There's almost like this echo that washes through the body as we release out of our longer holds. So I'd like for you to have that experience. But that means slowing down, which I know it's hard for us to do. Let's go ahead and hug that left knee into the chest. And if you used any props on your left side, maybe you move them off to your right side. Give that left knee a squeeze, pull. I'll start to pull the knee across the body, roll all the way onto your right hip. Adding any props underneath that left knee and or left ankle. Left arm can stretch off to the left. I like to wiggle my right shoulder blade away from my spine so that my upper back stays mostly flat on the ground, and I'm really twisting through my lumbar spine and the lower thoracic. Now come back to your breath here. Notice how this side feels. It might be different than the first side. There's so much value in finding stillness throughout your day. Carving out the time and the space for yourself to do this is a challenge in our modern day life. So just take a moment to reflect and give yourself some grace and appreciation for showing up. We have about 3 more breaths here. All right, so we'll start to slowly unwind. Take your time with that. Now, maybe you'd like to come into happy baby. Maybe you'd like to just simply hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. You can certainly do both. If your low back feels a little achy, I recommend happy baby. See if you can keep your low back grounded, press down through the tailbone, the back of the pelvis. And maybe a little rock side to side so you can massage those tissues around the low back. Over the next few breath cycles, we'll lengthen out into our Shavasana. Feel free to get comfortable, maybe a little support underneath the backs of the knees. Relax your shoulders down your back, slightly tilt your chin into your chest. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Soften your jaw. Let your tongue widen at the base of your mouth. A very gentle seal of your lips, breath coming in and out through your nose. Eyes sink heavy into their sockets. All the muscles of the face relax. Let it go. Let it rest. Shavasana. Please feel free to stay longer if you have the time today. I highly recommend at least 5 minutes for your Shavasana. If you'd like to move on with your day, if you've come to the end of your time allotment, you could start to deepen your breath. Gentle movement to your fingertips and your toes. Maybe move your head side to side. However you'd like to. You can close your practice. You can lay here on your back. If you'd like to come to an upright seat with me, you certainly can. We'll take a few rounds of breath. If you're laying on your back, maybe connect your hands to your belly so you can feel your body breathing in and out. Wherever you're at in your breath, empty all the air out. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Down your throat, through your rib cage, all the way into your belly. Reverse that breath, letting your belly relax. Up the sternum, out the back of the throat, and through the nose. 3 more times like that. Deep breath in. Follow the pathway of breathing all the way down to the belly. Reverse that pathway all the way out through your nose. Try that 2 more times. If you'd like to, you can join your hands together at your heart and bow your chin into your chest and take a moment to honor your practice with reverence and gratitude. To all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart, namaste. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Please come back again next Tuesday. Well, next Tuesday I won't be here. Following Tuesday.